Well, Sean, first of all, welcome back.
Oh, thank you. That's
Did you
kind.
have a good time?
I did. Yeah, it was very nice. I went to Fuerteventura and got a bit of a tan, as you can see. I don't like.
Is that what you call a tan?
No, thank you very much, cheeky monkey. I mean, I don't like to lie in the sun. Like we've got a friend who does that, haven't we? Lies in the sun and just turns into a handbag. Really, I reserve my skin for a little bit of a tan, but I just like to sit around and read books and have fine wine and fine foods and take in
Very
what's
nice.
going on. Really, it was very nice. Very
You
nice.
avoid wrinkles, don't you, when you do that? Apparently.
You do, yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's not, you don't turn into an old handbag like
No, it's good.
like some people,
well, that dreadful cliche, you've brought the sun back with you. But I do want to lay all the blame on you for the chaos the country's been in since you've been away, because the two things are linked. So when you went away, we had, you might say, a prime minister on a little bit of shaky ground, but nevertheless, a prime minister who was elected on a huge majority a couple of years ago with an agenda, whether you like it or not. And some people would argue that the policies seem to be showing some green shoots, whether you believe that or not. And that's called, I guess, democracy. But while you've been away, we've had a couple of Johnny-come-latelys enter the fray. We've had Mr. Streeting, who was, on the face of it, doing a half-decent job as health secretary, but obviously decided that that job wasn't important enough and resigned and wrote a stinky letter. Everyone thought he was then going to mount a leadership challenge. He has the numbers.
What numbers are they then?
666 maybe, but the numbers he needs are 81, which is 20% of the Parliamentary Labour Party to back him in a leadership contest.
Okay.
But although he has the numbers, he didn't play that card. And while all that was going on, the MP, who again was elected by his public for Markerfield, what is it?
Makerfield, I think you're right, first time.
Which is in Manchester. He decided that the people who elected him no longer needed his representation, threw the towel in.
For the good of the country.
The good of the country, and particularly for the good of...
Nothing offered in return, of course.
No, absolutely
nothing
not.
offered in return, much the same as our friend Mr. Farage, his 5 million.
Yes.
Nothing offered in return for that, just a gift. A gift to Mr. Burnham.
But stay off Farage for a minute. So no doubt Lord what's-his-face, because I can't remember the guy's name, when he resurfaces, obviously it would be in the Lords because he's not an MP, and then no doubt he'll be something like Chancellor of the Exchequer or something. Anyway, Mr. Burnham, who again was elected by the people of Greater Manchester. Incidentally, each election costs 4 million quid. So he was elected to represent them for a period of 4 or 5 years. He then decides that the country needs him. Well, the people of Makerfield.
Your country needs you.
That's it. And he enters the fray and the theory is that he gets elected and then mounts his own leadership contest to become the leader of the Labour Party and be by default Prime Minister. This is not democracy. It's a sham. Shame on Mr. Streeting. Shame on the bloke who resigned his seat. Shame on Mr. Burnham. But all that supposes that he can beat another plumber. There's something about being a plumber.
Well, there is,
and the guy from Reform is a plumber, and we've seen him in his van with Mr. Farage.
I mean, it's an old joke, I know, but Farage thought Hertz Van Rental was a Dutch international, so he doesn't know anything about that. He doesn't know anything about vans. He looked very uncomfortable.
I felt that he looked as if he was wondering where the chauffeur was and where the gin and tonics kept.
Yes,
he did look like that, but he was trying to be matey, wasn't he?
Man of the people. I think he was driving him around so fast, this guy, because I think he's a proper plumber. I mean, they're digging into his past, aren't they? Because he's said some peculiar things on social media in the past, which we won't go into here and now, because I think that our huge listenership, we wouldn't want to prejudice the decision in Makerfield.
Oh yeah, Ofcom.
Yeah, Ofcom. Yeah. But no, we don't often agree on these political matters, do we? But I'm in total agreement with you on this one, and I think where we're going in this country is we're we're slowly, well, not slowly, we're going hell for leather down the tubes at the moment in terms of stability for the international markets and for investment and for anybody to put forward any sort of manifesto and expect to be able to see it through, unless you can do it within 6 months. Otherwise, you're up for a challenge.
Oh, very much so. Very much
Yeah.
so. And yeah, we could discuss the merits of Burnham or not, but from
Mm,
what I can see is Mr. Flip Flop, a little bit like Starmer, he changes his position depending on which way the wind blows.
mm,
But I've got a very simple solution to all this nonsense. We may have covered it last time we recorded,
mm,
is that if a party of any persuasion
mhm,
decides that they want to change the leader, that
mm.
to me is a broken promise moment. And that is the point where you can do that, but you have to call a general election. Because,
Triggers a general election.
yeah, unless, the leader dies, becomes seriously ill and therefore incapacitated,
Mm,
or is subject to a criminal prosecution and therefore, have no
yeah.
choice. Now, that all of that could lead to the sort of rule of unintended consequences. For example, somebody might have murdered Keir Starmer to
Mm,
become leader of the Labour Party. Let's say there's those extremes, but I think it's as simple as that. If you think you're so clever, if you think you're so popular, and you think you're such a great leader, and if you
mm.
think you can be a great prime minister, put yourself forward to the British electorate, and we'll
Yeah.
see who's the turkey.
Yeah, we can't go, and there are quite a few turkeys out there at the moment, aren't there? We
Yeah.
can't go on like this, can we? At the end
No.
of the day, because we are literally. Do you remember? I mean, you and I are old enough to remember. We used to laugh at Italy in terms of their coalition government and Israel, for that matter. They were chopping and changing every 5 or 6 months. Now Italy is considered stable in comparison to this
Yeah,
country.
Maloney. Yeah.
It's a joke. It really is, and it needs to stop. And I'm in agreement with what you're saying there in
Yes.
terms of. And I also think I'm also of the view, to a degree, that there ought to be, in terms of party leaders as well. I think if you elect a party leader, it ought to be for a fixed term before you can be challenged. So again, unless there are exceptional circumstances, you can't just up and mount a challenge on your party. It's just absurd. I didn't think Labour would do this. Labour haven't got the history of doing this.
Actually, they
What do you
don't, do
call it?
they? No.
No,
No,
they've
they
they've
don't.
never decapitated
Do you think it's
a leader before.
not? Do you think it's because I'm not trying to score a point here, but because they very rarely won elections? They don't win very often, do they?
No, there's
So
part
when
of that.
when when they win, they probably think, "Oh, thank God for that,"
Mm,
and they hang on to the guy. Now let's say this has probably all come about because of when you look at the various scandals at the beginning, he could have ridden those out, but the Mandelson thing does seem to have done for him, doesn't it? It really
mm,
does. And this horrible look of firing everyone else, in particular that civil servant Ollie Robbins, who seemed a decent guy. I hate that. And if Starmer thought that he's showing how tough he is, and
mm.
everyone would go, "Oh yeah, really, it wasn't your fault." He was so either daft or badly advised.
Well,
So
I would disagree with you here to a certain extent, because
good.
The Mandelson thing did for him within the M25 in the Westminster bubble. But people going to the local election to vote in local elections are what finally pushed him over the edge. And I would imagine 99.9% of those people who voted in local elections and devolved elections couldn't give a monkey's toss about the Mandelson
Okay,
thing.
that's a fair point, but I was thinking more about the Parliamentary Labour
The
Party deciding.
pressure within,
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
agree with that.
but yeah,
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 yeah.
and the received wisdom, isn't it, is that Burnham in charge, and there's been a couple of opinion polls, he could possibly win the next election.
Mm.
But there's a small matter. He's got to get elected first
Well,
in what is Reform territory, and it
there was
would be hilarious, wouldn't it,
it
if
would.
the Reform guy smashed him.
It would. And I rather, there was a good cartoon in the Times yesterday. I don't know whether you saw it, which was, which was
In his shorts.
well, there was Keir Starmer with a placard saying "Vote Burnham," and around him he was surrounded by turkeys saying "Vote for Christmas," because he's going
I
to be
get it.
campaigning for
Of course
Burnham.
he is.
I
Of
mean, it's
course he is.
ridiculous, and everybody and their mother knows
What he's doing.
that he doesn't really want Burnham to win. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah, but
just
but it's clear he knows he's toxic, so he goes to Makerfield.
yeah,
He shakes a
he
few hands,
doesn't want him there, does he?
kisses a few babies,
Yeah,
and he loses.
he loses. Yeah.
Okay, I've had my rant, but the other rant what other point I want to make, and then I guess we better close this segment, is that what Mr. Burnham has done, and there's no dispute about this, he's actually brought back the short shorts. So I want to give him credit. I've never seen. I remember back footballers back in the 80s having those shorts, but it's actually
Yeah.
shorter than those. Although I
Oh.
did notice he'd moved to sort of more longer ones. I think he'd had a bit of feedback. But Mr. Burnham, I think he's going to get a sponsor soon, is he? Adidas or Nike for the short shorts.
Do you think for those shorts? I'm not quite sure. I mean, they showed something on the TV the other day that made a comparison because Wes Streeting then put on a pair of shorts the following day
Longer.
because they've all got. I mean, as you know, I've got a svelte, perfect figure.
You have.
Yeah. But Mr. Streeting and Mr. Burnham, they've got a bit of a. How can I put this? A dad bod.
Yeah.
You know all about dad
No, that's
bods.
perfect. Yeah, it's a good description.
They have dad bods, although obviously Mr. Streeting isn't a dad, but he's acquired the same physique as a dad bod.
Yes.
And it really is a bit unbecoming. It's a bit like the old do you remember when somebody would claim in the West that Yuri Andropov's dead? Oh no, he isn't. Oh no, he isn't. They'd wheel out sort of almost like, it's all in this effort to show that they're physically fit enough to take on the role, like our friend across the Atlantic. Fittest president has ever been. I passed him with flying colours. My physician said he's never known a man I should be in my 20s. It's all just utter bollocks. And we've not really moved on from the 70s, have we? In that regard?
We haven't. But anyway, I've been online. I have to admit, I'm quite a fan of Adidas, other brands available, and I've ordered my Andy Burnham shorts. And watch out for the photographs.
Yeah.